It's no secret that the condo market in Toronto has been struggling. A while back, I covered the Unionville condo market, and now with 3 rate cuts this year and a jumbo cut expected on October 23rd, I want to share some updates. If you're wondering whether now is the right time to jump into the downtown Markham Unionville market, stick around until the end for a complete overview of the current condo landscape in Unionville. If this is your first time in living in the Greater Toronto Area channel and you want to know everything about living in the Greater Toronto Area, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Toronto, Ontario. My name is Antonio and my business partner is Van. We get calls every day from people just like you, so whether you are moving in 9 days or 9 months, feel free to reach out as all of our contact information is in the description box below. We will be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Greater Toronto Area. So now let's take a look at the condo market Unionville Markham, and we have on the left average prices for 2023 along with the sales and the days on the market, and on the right side we do have the average price for 2024 and of course the sales and the days on the market. And I just don't want to bore you to death about the market, especially on the 2023. You just have to note that December we ended the year with the average price close to 718,000 and 17 sales only during the winter, of course, and the days on the market is relatively high at 31. However, when we're taking a look at the data in 2024, starting January, we actually did have an increase about $10,000, which is not significant, but it is actually increased. The sales, although just improved by 3 only, but it is a good sign starting the year. And however, the days on the market is even higher at 39 compared to 31 during the winter, which is quite significant if you think about it. It's a week time more. Now progressing to February of 2024, we actually did have an increase about $20,000 here. The sales actually dropped, so it's not really moving great, but the days on the market has declined, which is a good sign. And March actually just pretty much stay flat. Sales did improve because it's actually the spring, which is the strongest season supposedly in the year. However, the days on the market again starting to increase again. So now in April, which is the entering the spring market, we actually did have a decline on the average prices, which is quite significant too. And the sales remain pretty much flat, didn't improve month over month, and the days on the market pretty much the same. Now in May, we actually reached the peak for all the condos at Unionville, and we have like 820,000, which is quite significant. I'm not sure what is the reason, but maybe the bigger unit like the 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms were sold, so that can actually increase the average price, but the sales remain sluggish. And as you can see, for month over month it has declined, and the days on the market pretty much remain the same. And in June, which is entering the summer, the average price did come down quite a bit to 788,000, and the sales actually declined furthermore, which is expected during the summer, and the days on the market of course start to climb. And don't forget, during June and July is the time when Bank of Canada announces the rate cut, which supposedly helping the average prices or the activities, but as you can see, the sales didn't improve as much. In fact, it actually decreased. However, if you take a look from this 3 months from June to August, we did actually have the price increase from month to month, which is demonstrating your region, the condo market is quite resilient, where the seller just didn't want to budge in. However, the sales did come down during the summer, but in August we did have a spark quite a bit, which is not significant, but for the standard for the past few months, you can see that it's actually trending up. But the days on the market is actually one of the highest as well, so it's not really telling you the full story. It is still sluggish. And September, when we had another rate cut, it didn't improve the sales at all. It went from 28 to actually 23, which is quite surprising here in the fall market, and the days on the market pretty much remain the same, and we did have a decline in average prices. So right now in October 23rd, we are anticipating a rate cut, which could be very significant. Some people might say that it's going for a 0.50 basis, so it remains to be seen, but hopefully that can improve the remaining of the fall market in October and some part of November. So I'm not going to expect much in December, which is usual winter time. People just are not into real estate. Now with the expectation of this jumbo rate cut, we'd really have to see how the market's going to react here, especially in the condo market here at Unionville Markham. Now on top, you can also see that mainly from the summer, you can see the average prices for 2024 are actually lower than last year in 2023, which is also proof that the price has come down right now so far in 2024. Don't let anyone tell you the price didn't decrease at all. A comparison from last year, you can see that it is quite significant. We don't know what's going to happen by the end of the 2024, but it seems the price could be trending down because of our new listing inventory just kind of getting ridiculous. So there are a lot of choices for buyers. So I would not be surprised that price could come down even further down. Can it be lower than last year prices reaching under 700? Who knows? But as the trend goes, it could be a possibility. Now let's get into Realm, and we are in the York region, Markham and Unionville for all the condos that are available at the moment, and the active listing is currently actually combined with the 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom. We have 117 currently active listings. Now let's take a look at all the sold transactions between September as of recording of this video on October 10, all the condo units, and we actually have 32 listings that were sold since September. So let's quickly calculate the month of inventory. It would be 117 active listing earlier, and we have the 32 sold transactions, so we divide that by 32. We get the month of inventory currently at Unionville is 3.65, which is not too bad compared to most of the condo month of inventory in Toronto, which they can reach some at 6 and some part could reach as high as 7. And now here at Unionville Markham at 3.65 is really not that bad, but the price did come down quite a bit. For those that are not familiar with the month of inventory, basically between I say 4 to 6, most people would consider that as a balanced market. If the month inventory reaches higher than, let's say, 6 or 7, in general, we'll consider that as a buyer's market. So currently, Unionville at 3.65, we are technically under the balanced market, but most recent, the sellers are pulling off from the market because it was just not selling. So the active listing could come down a bit from just this region. But as I said earlier, in Toronto, there has been like over 6 or over 7 months of inventory, which is technically is in the buyer's market. So here we are actually improving quite a bit for Unionville Markham, which is sitting just under 4 months of inventory. So hopefully that could improve the situation here at Unionville Markham for the sellers. But definitely the buyers has the edge right now, no matter what the month of inventory is telling me. As you can see, the prices has come down for the past 2 or 3 months. So now let's take a look at the 1 bedrooms for the condo unit between the date of September up until the recording of this video on October 10, which is the sold units at Markham Unionville, and we have currently 18 that were sold between this day here. And now let's take a look at just the 1 bedroom without the tent. So we have 5 that were sold without the tent, and as you can see, the prices is pretty much under 500,000, and we have some smaller unit that is just shy of 499 square feet, and the rest are between 600 to 699, some at 500 to 599 square feet. And depending if the building are newer or older, for example, this 33 Cox Boulevard is a Tridel building. I would say it's between 20 to even more than 30 years old building, but they're well kept, and you can see the price is probably lower than the newer build. Just for example, the 25 Water Walk, they are newer builds, so the price is much higher and the unit size obviously is smaller. So the older building with larger size is usually the advantage, but the maintenance could be higher at the same time. For this instance, I think the 33 Cox Boulevard is a good value, but they took quite a bit to sell the unit. For example, the days on the market is at 56, so that is more than 2 months to sell the unit. And 55 South Town Center is also older build, which is on the other side of Warden. As you can see, this is sold for very low 500s, and the unit size is between 500 to 599 square feet, which took 71 days more than the 33 Cox, well over 2 months. This unit claims that only took 4 days to sell, for example at 1 Upper Duke Crescent. Let's take a look. The way I usually want to determine if that is really the case for just sold under 4 days by looking at the property history. As you can tell, this unit was actually listed early in September 8 in 2024 for $548,000 and was terminated actually on the 23rd of September. For those that don't know, once it's terminated, the counter for days on the market really reset to 0. So from 23rd, it relisted and was sold 4 days after on the September 27 for $590,000. So don't let that fool you that it only took 4 days, but instead it was listed since beginning of September, which is closer to 1 month time to get it sold, which is sitting right on the average time for selling a condo right now in Unionville Markham. So now let's take a look at all the 1+10 unit at Unionville Markham, and we have currently 13 that were sold in the time frame of September to October 10. And as you can see, for the most part, they are just selling under 600,000, but there are exceptions for a few, which is the newer build at 15 Water Walk that I mentioned before, and 25 Water Walk and 15 Water Walk. So just under 718,000, but the rest is pretty much under 600 or in the higher end of 600,000, depending if the building is older or newer. And the square footage is pretty much at 600 to 699 square feet, and there are some that are bigger, which is 38 Cedarland Drive, and this is older building, older master plan by other builder. And like I said, the older building, they usually have the advantage of being the bigger unit as well for relatively same price. And so is the 2 unit here at 89 South Town Center and 39 Upper Duke, which have the higher square footage between 700 to 799. And one thing to notice here too, like the average days on the market is relatively better as we approach in October, because I think the seller are getting accustomed to the price changes and they are more aware of the market. So the days on the market are actually trending down. And this one, for instance, at 8,228 Birchmount, it took 110 days to sell. And let's take a look at the property history. As you can tell, this started selling since the spring in March of 2024. For this price, of course, they were testing the market, most likely multiple offer day, and they changed it in the summer during June for 698,000, which is probably the seller's expectation. And of course, it was suspending along the way and finally settled for 638,000, which is probably the market price right now in October 2nd. So it took 110 days to sell. So for the most part, it is selling in the high 600, and the better unit are selling because they have 2 washrooms. So I'm suspecting that is the reason why they're selling much faster. So now let's continue on. We are looking at the 2 bedrooms at the moment, of course the same period, and we are 11 sold transactions during this time period. And as you can see, and let's take a look at the average price at the moment for the 11 transactions. It is currently at 793,691. Basically, it's closer to 800,000 for a 2-bedroom unit. And I have sorted out based on the unit size, and the largest is between 1,000 to 1,199 at 151 Upper Duke Crescent. And the days on the market is relatively lower at the moment as we approach near October. There is a reason that you might not know, but I will get into it right after. As you can see, there are units that are over 88 days, and we have other ones at 87, and some are 62, 45, which is quite a lot. But why there are currently more single-digit days on the market? So let's take a look at 151 Upper Duke. This is a 2+1 unit with 2 baths, fairly large square footage, and 12 days on the market. And if we take a look at the property history, you can see that this is indeed took only 12 days because they listed in September and sold it on the 18th for $830,000. So it's only $20,000 below the asking price. However, why it took only 12 days? The real reason behind it, as I can see right now, is that the expectation of the seller is currently adjusting to what market price is giving. So this is really closer to what the buyers are expecting and the seller are meeting the expectations. So let's take an example for a listing that is over 88 days, and this is a 2+1, and the unit size is between 900 and 999 for 88 days for $830,000. Previous condo that were sold for similar price was much more larger unit. That's the reason why they sold faster. And now let's take a look at the property history, and this unit indeed was listed since March of 2024 for $888, pretty much about $50,000 different before it was sold in September. And of course, there's a lot of time for the seller to get adjusted to the price that is really currently in the market. So it took a hit. The time the seller lost could be quite significant because this is indeed more than 88 days, close to 6 months. And now let's take another example for 18 Uptown Drive, Unit 316. Days on the market was 87. So let's take a look. This is a 2-bedroom and 2-bath between 800 and 899 square feet and sold for $798,800. So let's take a look at the property history. By examining the property history, the actual seller bought it for $890,000, and fast forward today, 2024, he listed since July 13 of 2024 for $798,000. Obviously, that was for multiple offers, I believe, and that's why it took quite some time, 87 days to sell it. But ultimately, the seller just sold it at the listing price. As you can tell, he suffered quite a bit of loss. At least we're talking about $100,000 more. We didn't even factor in the agent fee and the closing costs. So this definitely had a big impact for the seller. So there you have it. The current 2-bedroom unit in Unionville Markham, you can expect somewhere closer to $800,000 for a 2-bedroom unit. And now we're taking a look at the 3-bedroom Unionville Markham for the 3-bedroom and the time frame from September to October 10. And we have only 2 transactions that were sold, and that is 33 Cox Boulevard and 8 Waterwalk. Price range between 1.4 to 1.3, and the unit size, older building at 33 Cox by Tridell, is between 1,600 to 1,799 square feet. Newer building at 8 Waterwalk is between 1,200 to 1,399 square feet, which both exceeded over 2 months, one at 92 and one at 56 days on the market. One thing about the 3-bedrooms in pretty much for the most part in Toronto or York region for this case, that each condo buildings, they have less than 5% of 3-bedrooms. Usually there are way more 1-bedroom units and 2-bedrooms, but the 3-bedroom at the least. That's why they are so limited, where the price would pretty much have a fair market value since there are really not too many to compare with. So let's take a look at 33 Cox Boulevard 1825, which took 92 days to sell, and it is a 3-bedroom. It was listed for 1.5 million and sold for 1.45, which is 50,000 less. Let's take a look at the property history, and as you can see, they started selling in July 6 for 1.499 and sold for 1.45. It was pretty much clean, but again, if you have patience enough, you will get a fair market price for it. Since this seller purchased this unit since 2012 for $735,000, this is a quite decent profit that he made over the years. Now, 8 Waterwalk is newer building by Times Group. So let's take a look. It was listed for 1.438 before and was sold under the listing price for 1.38. It is a 3+1 unit. Let's take a look at the price history, and as you can see, this is a longer property history. It was listed first in March of 2024 for 1.488. As you can see, there are 2 price changes during May. It was expired in July, which reset it counter for the days on the market. Eventually sold in September 3rd for 1.38. So it definitely was longer than 56 days on the market. market because they were listed since March, closer to 100,000 less from the expectation set back in March for 1.488 million. So here in Unionville Markham, you will expect a 3-bedroom with a unit size closer to 1,300 or 1,700. It would be in this price range from 1.3 to 1.4 at the moment in October. I hope this video could give you the update you were looking for if you are on the fence of planning to purchase or sell your condo unit at Unionville Markham. Feel free to reach out if you have any question or simply book a call with me via the description below. I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you in the next video.